Gentlemen, making a signature blade in your signature style, man, that's a piece of cake at this point. We're not doing that. Instead, you'll be making one of these. That is a Mark III dive tool or dive knife. The Mark III dive knife is a compact, multi-purpose blade that has been the standard issue tool for U.S. Special Naval Forces for over 30 years. The blade features a clip point and a long row of serrated teeth on the back that were ideal for sawing through thick rope, especially when underwater. An all-purpose weapon, it was built to withstand the harsh, corrosive conditions of working on the sea. So, what are you going to be making these knives out of? Anchor chain. You'll have to combine anchor chain with some 10 series steel in a sand mine technique to forge your Mark IIIs. You're military guys, you understand there's a standard that you gotta hit. Good luck, bladesmiths. Your 3 hour starts now.
Anchor chain, it's not a hardenable metal, but it's a strong metal. So grab the acetylene torch. I know it's fast, I know how to use it, and I can probably, without wasting too much time, chop up enough pieces for everybody to use. Come on. I'll cut them up and be done with it and move on.
I'm comfortable with the sand mine. Downside is making it out of this piece of chain.
What is Jared doing over there, man? Is he just trying to straighten out that link over there?
Yeah, and he's got that work stick on it, which I think he might have thought would make a good leverage until it gets really hot, at which point it just bends easier than the chain.
The process I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get the 1095 smashed down, get these 2 mild seals on each side of it, and start making the shape for this profile.
I've used a Mark III before, but that's all the experience I have with a knife like this. Never made one, but it's about the attitude you have. I'm here to have fun. I'm having fun.
Elijah over here, who basically got it mostly straight, went right to the press, went squish. Yep. Smart move.
So I got my 3 pieces of metal. They're clean, smooth, flat, flush. And then finally, it's hot enough to get my forge well done.
Lee's preparation was the cleanest I've seen. Yeah. Each one of those pieces of steel was matched up beautifully, just set his welds on Big Blue. It looks beautiful.
The next thing I need to do is get my tip hammered in.
Getting that clip point right, you can always take a rectangular bar and grind a clip point on, but to forge it in takes a little pre-work. You want parallel sides and then a demarcation, a knee, where that starts to drop off.
I like to hammer and use the anvil. This is where the form is coming from. This is what is going to determine whether you have a butcher knife or a machete.
When I'm shaping this knife out, only thing in my head is parameters, making sure I meet them. So I'm constantly looking at the knife on display to make sure I got the profile correct.
Jared's, he's already got what looks like a tang and the tip worked in there.
I cut off the end of my billet. Perfect. Everything is solid. And then I go to weld on a piece of rebar to use as a handle.
Oh.
And it's hot.
Oh, boy.
So I got a nice little burn on my hand.
Oh, yeah, he cooked himself good.
Yeah. Okay, I got a glove.
It's just another obstacle in an already difficult competition.
Yeah.
Got the blade within the parameters, about ready to quench. There's no tings, there's no cracks. Now that I have a hardened blade, I need to put the saw back on and just clean it up.
They gotta be careful of the sharp angles that they leave in the spine because that can be a weak point if not done properly.
Saw teeth on it. Now I'm just going to try to clean it up as best I can.
There are countless ways to put these saw teeth in. I am going to do it the fastest, most efficient way I know how. As I cut in the sawtooth blade and I pull back, I let that grinding wheel curve off the top of the last tooth I've done. Then I cut the next tooth.
He's putting those teeth on before the quench.
But all those teeth become stress points during the quench.
Each one of those teeny little tips is going to get really hot. So allow the stress to happen on that solid blade, that solid billet with as much metal as you can there. Then cut those in as opposed to allowing that stress to happen when you've created all these possible stress points.
It's got a little bit of a kick to it, but that's something I think I'll completely grind out.
I start grinding in my false edge, and then I remember, oh wait, I have to put saw teeth in this thing. I've never done a sawback before, but it's actually working really, really well. I need to get this blade heat treated. So heat it up, put it in the oil, I file test it, I've got a hard edge.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This first round of competition is over. Good job.
Bladesmiths, to test the strength and durability of your blades as well as the overall construction, I'm going to be bashing them mercilessly into this anchor chain. Remember, this test is all about what that chain does to your knives and not what your knives do to the chain. Jared, you're up first. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm nervous as can be right now. That chain is going to be brutal. I don't know what to expect when that chain gets hit.
Well, Jared, it's pretty evident what happened here. The one thing that I talk about a lot are things called stress risers. And where things rapidly change geometry, it tends to concentrate stress right there. And this broke right at your very first sawtooth. So usually with saw teeth like this, you want to have a curved bottom because it kind of distributes that stress.
Jared, your blade has suffered a catastrophic failure on the 5th strike against this chain, and you can no longer continue with testing. However, the fight's not over for you. Each of you will have to survive 5 strikes in order to move forward in this competition. All right, Ben.
Lee, you've seen what I'm up to. How you feeling?
Pretty nervous. My blade's quite a bit wider. You know, the steel is welded up good together, but that chain just destroyed that blade. My stomach's just doing flips.
Oh my God.
Well, Lee, your grain is beautiful. It's like velvet. You know, it should be a very strong blade. The spot of the break, again, it's right at the base of one of these saw teeth.
Lee, your blade suffered a catastrophic failure after only 1 strike on this anchor chain. Everything right now resides on Elijah's blade. Your blade will have to survive 1 strike on this anchor chain. Are you ready for this?
No. I'm confident that the steel is hard, but Jared and Lee's blades just broke. Lee's after 1 hit. It all comes down to my blade.
I can't see where the hardened steel is. Elijah, looking at the knife that you presented here, there's a couple major issues. One is that this guard is all over the place. But the one big issue I have is that there's no acid etch on this blade.
Yes, sir.
I can't tell on this side where hardened steel is or soft steel is. I like to be able to see where the steel is so that I can accurately judge what you've done.
Gentlemen, the parameters exist so that we can measure your blades evenly and fairly with one another. Elijah, you failed to meet the parameters by failing to acid etch, and your guard is loose. So the judges have given your blade a vote of no confidence, and I have to ask you to please leave the forge.
I understand.
Forward, my friend.
I'm an officer in the United States Navy. I'm about upholding the rules. And if I got to go forward, it wouldn't have been right. The first thing I'm going to do when I get home is kiss my wife and kiss my kids and forge a rubber-stacked Mark III dive knife so that I can hang that sucker up on the wall as a constant reminder of attention to detail.